Hello, everybody. Well, Dominomial here, and welcome back to another episode of Outer Wilds. Actually, I kind of want to see what happens with Dark Bramble, and I don't want to do other shit during the loop to figure that out or to wait around. So I'm actually just going to sleep until like the 20-minute mark or so. Because I know how to get to the Quantum Moon now. I know how. Do I want to get to the Quantum Moon? No. I really do not. The Quantum Moon is just a scary thing. It scares me. And honestly, I should probably go back to the Grove to find the poem. I don't know. And I also do need to go to the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. I do want to get that last bit of info before going to the Quantum Moon, because I have a feeling I will need it if I'm going to survive the Quantum Moon. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. How have your guys' day been going? I know you can only respond through the comments, in which case I won't see it for another month, but who knows? Maybe I'll actually upload quickly. Or maybe. Don't get your hopes up. I still need to upload the rest of In Stars in Time. I've been really slacking on that, partly because the nature of that game. Secondly, because I'm worried that the LP might be a bit too outdated now, considering I recorded it last June. And a lot of the stuff I was talking about back then was, relevant to me in June. Like, I didn't even get my Walmart job back when I was recording. Back when I was recording that LP. I was just, what the fuck was I doing? I don't know. Oh, right, yeah. I think the job interview that I referenced in the very final episode of In Stars in Time was one for Culver's, which I didn't get that job. I got one at Walmart, like you know. But yeah. The only reason why I got the optician job here was because my references from Walmart and the previous place I was at came in so fucking clutch that they just gave me the job. Not only did they give me the job, but they also raised my starting salary from like $14 an hour to $15.50, which is fucking crazy. I mean, it's not the most well-paying job in the world, and I do have to pay $900 a month for rent, which is a nuisance. But all right, let's just watch the sun. Not on the slippery slope, though. Let's kind of hover around Dark Bramble. So with the way how the planets align, I think the giant fucking mass that appears right before the end, right before the sun consumes everything, is in fact just Giant's Deep. I think it's just Giant's Deep resting in front of Dark Bramble. That's my current hypothesis. I believe it to be true. However, it could be something mysterious and unwarranted and unusual. So what's going on here? That's what it is. It is just Giant's Deep. It's just Giant's Deep. That's all it is. Okay. Well, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I guess I could check the rumor mode. I could just jettison myself into the quantum moon right now. I don't want to. That's the last thing I want to fucking do. But I could. Yeah, I know. I am not sure. I mean, there's the grove. You know, if I can actually navigate properly. Geysers. I don't really think there's much more on Timber Hearth for me to explore. Besides maybe re-exploring this grove. Because I just kind of fucking freaked out and left when I saw the quantum moon, or the quantum rock shard. So what if I just land here? Relax, ship. Because I didn't really fully read this poem. What does this say? It's always dark across old bark, and in the ancient glade, the quiet shade. It's always dark across old bark. In the ancient glade, the quiet shade. The old bark, I mean, bark is clearly referencing, like, the exterior of a tree. It's not a reference to Dark Bramble, I don't believe, even though that is quite literally the seed planet, the big vegetation, literally just a fucking seed, that it also is a seed. It's still new. Old bark must be referencing to, like, the, I think it's a reference to the, crumbling exterior of, Brittle Hollow. And then, it's always dark across old bark in an ancient glade. I've already forgot the last line. Oh, in an ancient glade under quiet shade. So, quiet shade. So, it's not Hollow's lantern. Hollow's lantern is not quiet, even though it is shady. So we need to find something. I don't know. I really don't know what we need to find. I think it might be this. Quiet shade, old bark, ancient glade. Don't get it. I don't know. There's also more to the Sunless City that I need to explore. Escape Pod 2, but I still need to explore the old settlement. So Escape Pod 3 and the Vessel, both in Dark Bramble. And then these murals, the seed literally fucking attacked the ship and then encased it, from what I can tell. So, is the observatory on the South Pole? I just want to... Yeah, it's in the South Pole. So I want to go to the North Pole, then, to get to the Hanging City. The Hanging City might be my best bet at figuring out how to actually get to, you know. That is not the north end. I think the north end is... It's right here. But it's beneath. So... Oh. There you are. Can I, like... just land here? I totally can't. Why did I never think of that? Some of the things you miss when you overthink things. Black Hole Forge District. Eye Shrine District. Meltwater District. School District. So which district is... Oh. So that would go to the Meltwater District. Oh. The music. What's going on? Holy shit! That's so fucking cool, man! Black Hole Forge controls. I want to see what that's all about. What? Oh my god, they literally used the gravity force of the black hole to literally... That's what the... Well, now I need to know what that's all about. The Ash Twin project requires a powerful, highly advanced warp core. How should we obtain it? There's probably a... Holy shit, the ambience here is so... haunting. Like something terrible happened here. Did the Black Hole Forge do something? We could create a new advanced warp core inspired by the vessel's warp core. Abandoning the vessel's warp core in its casing means losing valuable knowledge. This is true, however, it's knowledge we have little hope of recovering. It would be best to relearn, I think. I would very much like to craft a powerful core, more relevant. I believe the Black Hole Forge crew and I could create the basic design. This is the safest... Okay, yep. Our goal is risk. The greatest challenge here, I think, is we don't have the design for such a powerful core, or any of the original crafters of the vessel's core. No, but Poke was apprenticed by Anona, who created the original design, and our Black Hole Forge is adept at crafting simpler cores. I believe I can be of use here. The vessel's warp core was created before my time, but Anona explained many of his designs to me. Find something now believed to be impossible. If the search for the eye is a futile one, we should choose the option with the least potential for harm. So, they kind of started going crazy for their search for the eye, it sounds like. Like, what is going on? Like, yeah, no, I want to find the eye too, but like, only because they're so obsessed with it. Like, I just kind of want to know now, like, what's going on here with this eye? We could retrieve the warp core from the vessel. This would require a return to Dark Bramble. My father said many good Nomai perished. My mentor, Coleus, and his mentor once discovered and studied an anglerfish fossil on Ember Twin. Using that knowledge, we could avoid the anglerfish entirely. I remember that anglerfish fossil. We used to play in the fossil fish cave when we were... What? So the cave I never explored was actually just the anglerfish. What Mallory and I learned from that fossil would theoretically help us evade the anglerfish, but our hypothesis was never tested on a live specimen. The vessel's warp core is broken at best. Recall those present when the vessel crashed that sustained lethal injuries. There is no guaranteed reward for the fatal risk. Even if it is no longer functions, the old core could be a valuable blueprint, provided we're able to transport it back here. Perhaps we could still repair it. My grandmother told me there was little time to assess the nature or extent of the damage. Well, now I know what's in that cave. And I already kind of did something to the black hole forge. But let's go down further. Well, let's go, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing up here. Oh man, imagine looking down below this bridge and just seeing a black fucking hole. That is a wow. That's so fucking cool. That is so fucking cool. How has it taken me this long to explore this place? And it's so, like, weirdly complex, too. Like, this is like a labyrinth. Ghost matter. Ghost matter, huh? Okay, I guess let's go back and find a spot to place this. Where can I place this? Oh, there. Lami. Explanation of festivals. Oh my god, that's actually really fucking cute. You can tell this was written by a child because of how scribbly and, like, rough the curve is. That is actually cute. All the Nomai clans from all over the universe meet in one place to share what they've learned in science and art. It's called the festival. At some festivals, one clan's big discovery can mean all the Nomai get to advance too, like Anona's warp core, which made it so everyone can warp long distances and explore more. Each clan has a festival envoy to show their most interesting work. Our envoy was Thatch. A single envoy could last a long, long time. We can't go because we're stuck here, but Felix says we used to go too. Don't forget, festivals happen every 10 years. Holy shit. Okay, this might be one of my favorite areas in the game, if not probably my favorite. What the fuck? The music just makes it. It's so haunting, and this could go in a fucking horror game. And this game is basically a horror game, but existential dread horror. Like, even the children here are like learning the same obsessive research philosophy of these Nomai. That's just their culture. They want to learn more, explore more, and gain more insight on the world. And that's great and all, but I mean, they destroyed the solar system. They fucking destroyed the solar system. And then my character is the only one that's able to truly see the devastating effects of what they've done and how they kind of ruined themselves. And it's really interesting piecing all that together. Ilex, why we should build a new vessel. It probably wouldn't be hard to get parts if we stopped other new things and if we broke down other structures, like the towers on the Ash Twin. We could even have a warp core for jumping long distances like vessels have. Poke tells me she plans to make a very advanced warp core for a different project. I'm sure she could connect it to the vessel for travel, because Poke is smart. We might have to build a smaller vessel for now, even though vessels are normally large. But we could make it bigger later once we reach planets with more resources. It would also help if we stopped building so many things to search for the Eye of the Universe. I asked Yarrow, and he says we use a lot of resources on the Ash Twin project. Each Nomai clan explores the universe in its own vessel. The vessel is the heart of every clan. It's unusual for Nomai to remain in one place for so long. Nomai are wanderers and have no permanent home. If we built a new vessel, we could return to our adventurous way of life. Imagine all the new places we could go. Our clan wouldn't be stuck here in this star system. We could even meet with other Nomai and learn from them, like Coleus says we used to do. Oh, so they were like kind of like a tribal... Okay. Tell me more, children. Tell me more. Solanum, formation of this universe. Are you going to talk about the threads of the universe, or that current theory? About, like, how, like, matter initially existed after the Big Bang? Or, I don't know. No one knows how the universe was made, but one thing we do know is everything used to be very hot and very dense. Yeah, so Big Bang Theory. The threads, I think, was, like, sometime post-Big Bang. Like, how, it's more so a theory on how the first stars formed, and not how, like, the universe was formed. As this early universe had expanded, it also cooled down. Once it had cooled down enough, particles were able to group together to form things like galaxies, stars, and planets. Yes, this is how our current theory of the Big Bang works. So, basically, in the very, 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 very early infinitesimal stage of the Big Bang, like, I'm not even talking of second, like, I'm talking nanoseconds here, basically. There were actually more particles that existed in this world. We had protons, antiprotons, neutrons, antineutrons, electrons, anti-electrons, alright? Don't think there were any antineutrons, but, yeah, basically, what happened is, like, when you combine a proton and an antiproton, is they collide, they create a burst of energy, and they both literally just fucking disappear. They convert into energy. And the reason why we only have protons and electrons is because, well, our universe had a very slight imbalance of protons and electrons. And then when all the anti-protons and anti-electrons left, or I think it was anti-neutrons, don't quote me on that. But yeah, when they all left, when they all clashed together, there was still some leftover protons and neutrons and electrons and all that. So we don't have any antiparticles anymore. Not that we really know of. We would have to, like, artificially create them ourselves, or somehow find, like, some kind of miracle instance, like the ongoing search for neutrinos, which are so fucking rare that it takes literal decades for even a chance of finding one. And it requires so much sensitive equipment. And if you do get a hit with that kind of equipment, a lot of the time it could just be a false positive. Although I do hear that I think NASA or some other lab did recently get a actual, like, positive hit with a neutrino. Neutrinos are so rare that you only make contact with a neutrino on average twice in your life. In fact, it's kind of a running joke that the second neutrino is actually the cause of your death. You survived the first neutrino, but the second neutrino kills you. Anyway. Yeah. So this is accurate to what we understand of the universe. Since then, space has continued to expand at a faster and faster rate. Yes, this is true. The universe is moving away from us. When you look at the planets and other galaxies through an infrared, you can see that all the galaxies are red, which means that using the Doppler effect, but with light. Okay, Doppler effect, basically, imagine a police siren coming at you. You get the wee-oo, 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 and then right as it is, like, accelerating towards you and past you, get, like, wee-oo! And then once it goes past and away, it goes wee-oo. Essentially, with sound, the pitch gets higher pitched as it moves closer towards you, but it gets lower pitched as it moves away from you. That's the Doppler effect. You notice it, especially with stuff like trains. However, with light specifically, it works on the ultraviolet scale. So, sorry if I'm explaining all this shit too much, but I fucking love astronomy, guys, okay? But yeah, with light, basically, if light is moving away from us, their wavelengths will go down on the infrared scale, meaning that if something is normally like a yellow light wavelength, it'll drop down to like a whatever's like an orange or a red, or if it's... So basically, we use this to kind of determine how stars are orbiting from very far away. If we look at a star and we want to see if it's moving, like an orbiting star or planet, we can look at the planet through an infrared telescope or infrared imaging, and if it's moving closer to us, the shade will appear brighter. It'll appear brighter, like higher up on the ultraviolet scale. So a planet moving towards us would appear kind of like more green, more violet, etc. if it were moving towards us on its orbits. But if it was moving away, it would look more down, like it would look more orange or red or even infrared. So that's how we are able to tell if very far away objects in space are moving towards or away from us. And like laterally across, we just kind of have to notice that. Laterally across is the easy part, but that's how we're able to tell if something's moving towards or far away, because, you know, we can't tell that just with the telescope. But yeah, basically my whole point is Hubble, you know, like the actual person, not the telescope. He discovered that he discovered in his early telescope images, that the universe was in fact moving away from us. Every single galaxy taken under like an infrared telescope, or like imaged wise, every single star was red. Every galaxy. Which meant it was literally proof that the universe is expanding. The farther out galaxies were farther red, and the closer ones were still red. So yeah, the universe is expanding, and it's accelerating at an exponential pace. We're just a tiny speck of a dot on the universe. Not even a dot. Just like the pin of a needle on this big, massive fucking balloon that is the universe. Or whatever shape it is. We don't know what shape it is. That's still up for debate. Since then, space has continued to expand at a faster and faster rate, which is hard to think about for too long without your brain hurting. Thank you, child. The universe will keep getting colder and larger until one day the stars and the life they support will all die. This is also true to how astronomers' theories of how the universe will end will work. So basically, the life cycle of a star, it stardust accumulates through like some slight disturbance, so it accumulates through the force of gravity, and then it becomes a big ball. It turns into a star because the gravity crushes the particles together, creating heat, eventually creating plasma, eventually creating a self-sustaining star. If it fails, it might turn into like a brown dwarf, which is kind of like a failed star. It like exists as a star, but it isn't really active as a star. And then, we also have red stars, yellow stars, blue stars. The reason why we don't see any blue stars is because they're fucking extinct. Or not extinct, but, I mean, they're still being created, but, like, they're very rare because they have extremely short lifespans relative to other stars. Blue stars are basically the equivalent of live fast, die young. Red stars just keep on trucking like an eternal battery. Our star is average. It'll last like probably another 6 billion years or so. Red stars can live up to hundreds of billions of years, potentially even trillions. Blue stars, they die in like a billion years. But yeah, basically when a star explodes, all that matter gets dispersed, and then it'll create new stars when those particles become, more stars when they gather in stardust. But the reason why the universe, it's theorized it'll die in cold, agonizing death is because as stars make fuel through nuclear fusion, they're combining hydrogen and helium. And if you look at the periodic table, you'll notice that if you keep combining hydrogen and helium, you'll eventually get iron. And iron is the final elements that can be created in a star with nuclear fusion. It cannot go past iron because of just how the electrons work. So, when all the stars die, there won't be any more hydrogen and helium to create more stars. There won't be any more stardust. All there will be planets created from the 1% other materials that is not hydrogen and helium in the universe, and black holes from dead stars, just, slowly sucking everything up into the fourth dimension. And now, if you're getting an existential crisis thinking about this shit, don't worry, it is literally so unfathomably far away that we would not be able to understand it. It would take tera years. Or what's beyond a terabyte? A zettabyte? But yeah, tera years. That literally means, think a terabyte, but, that's how many years. That's what a tera year is. So it would take multiple tera years. So yeah, so if you converted a terabyte into megabytes, how many megabytes that is, each of those would be 1 year for a tera year, multiple tera years. But yeah, even if that does give you existential dread, as it probably should, because that's just kind of natural instinct. I know a lot of astronomers are like theory crafting ways the universe could be reborn again. Either like religious astronomers that believe in God, or non-religious that just, believe in like a natural flow of how the universe could be reborn. I don't know those theories, but yeah. That's scary to think about, even though Conway tells me it won't happen in our lifetimes. But it'll happen in someone else's someday. Perhaps. What the fuck, Outer Wilds? You got me on like a full-ass fucking rant. That's because it's like space knowledge is so fucking accurate. It is really fucking accurate for just being a game taking place in space. It actually cares about space and physics and like how things work in the universe, and I love it because it's not just a game that takes place in space. It's a game that's actually lives and breathes in space. It has realistic, science and depictions of space. And I love it for that. Oh, that was close. I mean, the sun's going to explode in this run, but, wow. Don't mind me, just getting immersed in the world. Hmm. I didn't mean it for it to end like that, but it was the end of the loop. So, yeah. In the next episode of Outer Wilds, I will continue exploring the Hanging City, because that's one of the few major areas I haven't explored yet, I feel. So, in the next episode, bye. And if you could sit through all my rants, well, thanks. Sheesh. I love astronomy. What can I say? Like, genuinely. It's one of my favorite subjects, and I'm actually considering going to school for it. So, yeah. I don't know. See you next time. Bye.